you're gonna get.
Hey, fellas, what is going on? What's going on? It's once again your weekly TNA Impact chat. It's your boy Ayo here. I was just with Burt. He'll be right here in a few seconds. What's going on, guys? How you doing? So yeah, we got a lot to cover tonight. Got a lot to cover. Thought tonight's episode. Yeah, we're gonna go for tonight's episode, but also we're gonna review the No Surrender predictions. Cause you know how it is on Bodyslam, we got you covered. We're gonna cover all things TNA. Also feel free to take a look at some other content from other wrestling products on Bodyslam, about on the Bodyslam YouTube channel. All right, as we wait for our buddy Bert. Yeah, I'll just kind of like point my favorite matches at the show. One was Nemeth versus Swan. I thought that was a good one. Having two guys. Obviously Nemeth. Both guys are former world champion. Uh, Swan. I said this a while back. Like Rich Swan, like ever since coming back, like he's been having like this new fire and passion. Like he's been really like we're kind of really seeing like a fire lit under him, or so to speak, and especially when he had with those matches with Leon Slater and AJ Francis, and tonight was no different. Obviously Nemeth needed to win because going into tomorrow's tag match he has with Eddie Edwards and Santana and Leon that kind of reminded fans that this is still the Nick Nemeth that you guys still watched from sorry, like this still the same guy that you still see from TV years back. He can still go. Another good match that should get a little credit for was the Albuquerque street fight between Mara Sade and Nick's brother Ryan. I know a lot. There's a lot of criticism. Like folks are saying that basically like this feud should be ending. Like why is it still going? And I can agree to that assessment. But I think it was meant for to kind of like wrap up for here because this is Mara's hometown in Albuquerque, and you wanted to have a good show and have a good show on it for because she did all the media work and promotion in Albuquerque, and they gave her a good shine here. And of course, we have the main event, the 8-man tag, the new system going up against Hardy's, Santana, and Moose. We're gonna get into that later. I thought that was pretty good. What I like about this new system is that all the guys, they bring something different, and I can't wait to explain that later. All right, our buddy's Bert joining us. How you doing, man?
Sorry, man. A little technical difficulties on my end. No, continue. Just run down the beginning of the show as a whole. Continue.
Yeah, I was just saying my favorite matches of the. I was just saying what's my favorite matches of the show, basically. Yeah, I already talked about Swan and Nemeth and Mara and Nick. I mean Mara and Ryan, and yeah. So looking at this No Surrender card, it's pretty decent. Like I always say about like TNA Plus events, they can like when it comes to live TNA shows, at least for the PLE standpoint, they always deliver. They're giving you like nice fresh matchups. Like we got BDE versus Eric Young just announced. Indy Hartwell and Zaya Brookside are actually going to be teaming up for the tag titles against the Elegance brand. That should be interesting. What else? And then also, I don't know if you saw this. We're gonna have a knockouts battle royal for future.
I did not see
knockout.
that. That's, okay.
Yeah, they just announced that. Yeah, for no.
So that seems like a fitting spot to see maybe some returns and some surprises as well. I know I've been seeing teases of Mila and Harley returning. Yeah, that's awesome that we're getting that. That's just another knockouts match on the card, which should be very fun.
Mm-hmm.
Real quick, in terms of tonight's show, I really thought again TNA knocked out of the park. And that's funny we're saying that because that's kind of going to our our first topic. You know, we're not one to come here and do ratings talk every week, but you had to, just like me and a lot of other people, had to see that rating for last week. That's pretty stellar news, man. And despite the people downplaying it, we're not going to name names. You know what I mean? It's been kind of a funny thing to joke about all week.
No, it's gloating time here.
That's a really good sign, and AMC has to be. I'm gonna let you take the stage, and take a bow, so to speak.
Yeah, well, guys, within week 4, hold on.
Because when you see that,
okay, yeah, continue.
Oh, I was just gonna say, because when you think about that number, that's amazing, and like AMC just has to be over the moon, you know, just like with how happy they are. You know what I mean? The progress week to week is what you want to see from, you know, a brand that's growing their audience on a new network. This is awesome news.
I'm gonna get to AMC in a minute, but yeah, within week 4, yeah, TNA just hit their strongest episode, 241,000 viewers, and with a 0.05 rating and the 18 to 49 demographic. This marks a significant increase from their 173,000 viewer debut on January 15 and previous lower figures. When last week they were on 200. Last week they were on 200,000. The show has found a consistent growing audience on its new network. Yeah, so yeah, this what makes this one's interesting is that this was higher than any episode that TNA has had within the last 8 years, and that includes during their Access eras, and that includes the Kenny Omega episode. So it's a tremendous feat. Like they haven't hit this feat of viewership while they're in the Access time. Probably not since since the Pop era. So it goes to show, and I know like there's gonna be some naysay about, you know, the reason towards that, which I'll get into that later. But like, it just kind of shows
before he comes back. Yeah, no, these again. I'm not like an expert in this subject, and I don't follow it closely to where I make it a point to talk about it. But when you see those numbers, and I'm mostly looking at the week to week growth, that's Ayo's back. That's very impressive. And again, that has to be
was I cut off?
One of the big things that AMC and the people. Yeah. Sorry, I continue. What were you saying?
Oh no, I was saying, was I cut off or?
Yeah. You went out there for a second. We're having a little technical tonight.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, bear with us.
No worries. Yeah, I was just saying, yeah, this is a tremendous, because it higher than any Access episode. But yeah, you continue.
No, yeah, like, well, again, we don't come on here and preach ratings every week. It's not something that we talk about. You know, we'll talk about it in our group chats a little bit. But again, I'm just looking at it from as a novice in terms of somebody who, again, I don't study it, but what I see is week to week increase. That has to be something that everyone across the board is going to be happy with. So, and yeah, I couldn't be happier about it. Again, it's not doesn't determine whether I like the show, but I have to say each week has been amazing. So it's awesome to see them getting numbers to support that.
Absolutely. It just shows how far we come that we're actually having consistent viewers, and I think that's what's more important too. Like people expected after the debut there's gonna be like drops and blah blah, blah, and usually I mean I know like it's normal, you have a debut episode and then there's some drops, and then by week 4 or 5 we'll see kind of where they land. That's some of the normal podcasters kind of say, but for the most part they've been kind of consistent with their viewers and stuff. Now I know some are saying, well, because basically uh Nielsen kind of fixed some. I don't speak ratings talk like you Burst. Basically, some kind of check. They kind of rechecked some viewership. So a lot of wrestling shows numbers have been going up. But I will say that it still is a testament to TNA because they can still keep a consistency viewer. So if numbers, let's say next week looks nice, decent, or up, then you gotta count to TNA. Still keeping it Europe. So I would say credit definitely goes to TNA mostly.
Yeah, and 100 aisle. And again, we talk about all the time. It's just we're happy for the wrestlers, the fans, the people running the show behind the scenes. Like they deserve this. You know what I mean? So more people tuning into them on this larger platform, and them taking this journey. It's really cool to see. You know what I mean? And I couldn't be happier as a longtime TNA fan. I would think you were right there with me as well. But yeah, I would say that TNA's kind of become must see right now. If I know for us diehards it already was, but I think I could see them really gaining some momentum in terms of gaining new audience. I mean, new audience. So yeah, this is a great show tonight. Can't wait for No Surrender tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, just one little thing I saw today that I kind of want to bring up, just because it really made my ears perk a little bit. According to Fightful, Dakota Kai has mentioned that not only is she interested not only would she be opening to join AEW, but she dropped TNA's name as well. And man, that's really cool, because I've kind of been, I think a lot of people have been kind of champion, calling maybe TNA to go out there and get her. You know, I know it's always going to come down to numbers. I certainly am not saying TNA should go out there and overpay to the degree where it would be a detriment to the roster as a whole. But I definitely think that she's, one of the few names out there, at least with, recognition, that would warrant TNA maybe taking a big swing for her. But what were your thoughts, Io, when you heard her kind of name drop TNA?
I thought that was pretty cool. Especially especially in this realm where wrestlers and free agents are still kind of exploring their options. And I know majority have gone to Tony Khan's side, but at least at TNA, I always say that if TNA is still at least mentioned as far as options or so, like that's still a good thing. Shows like we're doing something at least to kind of get attentions for options. Money is a different story. Money is a different story, which we're not going to get into. But like at least it shows that we're an option, that at least we're relevant, so to speak. Like you get what I mean? Like it's not always like it's not always like, oh, should I go to AEW? No, it's like, okay, should I go to AEW, TNA, this and that, New Japan, this and that. That's what you want to kind of keep going. Basically, like it's like how it is like in the drafts. Yeah, I mean, with the drafts and stuff, which team should this player go to and stuff. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I will say though that if TNA is going to continue maybe not to pursue the, I would say, more pricier free agents, I have no problem with TNA kind of sticking to what they've always been. And the way I guess I kind of would put it, like let's be real, for right now, WWE for the most part, and to some people still is, might be the end all be all. So that's why you even see people going from AEW to WWE. We just saw Will Hobbs, now Royce Keys, go to AEW. That's just one name. So, and then we're seeing TNA people. A lot of them go to AEW right now as like the next step. So if that's going to be the case, I think TNA really needs to concentrate on getting those not green, but people like, with really like no name recognition. Like, and why I say that, and I believe in TNA is because I don't think that Mr. Elegance was on a lot of people's, I didn't see a lot of people talking about him. I wasn't too familiar with him, but TNA has already turned this guy into a star. So again, I don't have a problem with TNA being just, that next step down, because they still produce incredible shows. So yeah, while I think it would be cool to get Dakota, I'm not going to be upset if they don't, just because I don't see them going. I shouldn't say I don't see them not trying, but I don't think it's going to make or break TNA. It obviously won't. I mean,
Right, because they still gotta. At the end of the day, they still gotta find their niche. Like find their niche, right? Find their identity and stuff. Like one thing I always like that TNA, can probably take credit to is that they're the ones that kind of gave certain wrestlers a chance
Mhm.
when certain companies didn't really give them an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Like, didn't really kind
Exactly.
of didn't really give them an opportunity and stuff. And sometimes it's not even their fault. Like it's just, the land of the giant, so to speak. Like
Hmm.
You take Christian Cage, for example. Like you can't say a bad word or anything negative about this guy. He was a good wrestler, always a good character. Just just and he's been there for a while, and then just the company focused on the Cenas and the Batistas of the world, and Christian knew that he wasn't gonna get the opportunities that he felt he should, and so what he did, he took a chance. He left the high paying company and came to TNA, and which is what actually helped this company because didn't Christian Christian literally turned down WWE for TNA. I know, like that's literally basically what he did. So that kind of really gave a big motivation for TNA. And of course, Kurt Angle, guys like Kurt Angle, Booker T follow suit after, and so and then the rest is history. So fast forward, I would say yes, TNA still needs to be that company that be different. Like they still need their identity. You mentioned Mr. Elegance. I mean, I'm still kind of how to. I mean, we'll see where this guy actually fits in. Besides being like a narcissist, Chippendale looking, whatever the heck he's doing. But yeah, but at least he's new and different. Like, yeah, I mean, like, cause yeah, you
Yeah.
still gotta. It's about giving opportunities. I think that's what TNA kind of thrives on, like giving opportunities. So we're just gonna have to see where it goes from here. Like if they're gonna bring in new people for opportunities.
And yeah, I would add, I would say I'm even more of a bigger fan of hers, but Jada Stone last week, again, that was a breakout performance. Um, Again, I didn't know much about her, so I guess my main point is I just trust TNA's track record with, really with the reclamation, and just not even, and I'm not saying because Jada's very early in her career, but they're very good at turning people into talked about talents. We've seen this before. So I think TNA can pretty much do anything. We've seen the history. The proof is there. So
Yeah. A shout out to
yeah, again,
Jake. Sorry, shout out to Jay Star who just chimed in. Yeah, yeah. Have a good one, buddy.
yeah, thank you, man. Thanks for dropping by. I trust TNA. So again, why I would love for them to get Dakota. I think she fits TNA. I think she would
Yeah,
be more of a chance to get reps in TNA. And I think due to her kind of like injury history so far, I think it would be good. But it seems like AEW is kind of on a shopping spree right now. So you know what I mean? It's kind of hard to deal with that one. So we can't ignore that. So,
oh yeah, yeah. The Ash
but
Ketchum of
again,
the Ash Ketchum of pro wrestling. He just he doesn't have stuff to him.
yeah,
For folks who don't know, I'm talking about
it's very
for folks who don't know, I'm talking about Tony Khan, by the way. But yeah,
it's very WWE-esque in terms of just kind of drafting and stashing people. They could have another roster. I mean, another show with just bench players right now. You know what I mean? There's people who can't even get on TV. I haven't seen Camille in what feels like years. She would have been great in TNA. There's just people.
all right,
Again, that's just kind of how it goes. It's very WWE-esque. So again, I'm not going to hate. I watch AEW as well, but again, I'm not going to be worried about that because TNA's proven they can
yeah,
go out there and get, like, if this was college sports, they're not going to always get those 5-star recruits, but we've seen them turn 1 and 2-star talents into 5-star talents. So
yeah,
you know what I mean? Let AEW
yeah,
draft and stash and pour talent.
yeah. Oh yeah, one more thing about the ratings. I guess we're gonna have to account towards Google searches, as our buddy Mike Gilbert just
Yeah,
pointed out. Yeah,
yeah,
apparently Google searches now is a recommend, or at least that's from one David Meltzer saying. But I don't know, like yeah, you and I, yeah, we already talked about we're not experts on this thing, but I just feel like, man, one TNA any good info, and I think Gilbert can account this as any good info news about TNA. You got people from outside from the woodshed just kind of like chiming in or whatnot, want to give their own 2 cents and stuff, and I just find it hilarious. So yeah,
yeah. The TNA ratings conversation. Yeah, I love how Mike pointed out. Make sure to Google. Uh, yeah, apparently clicks. That's another thing Meltzer's tracking and Observer's tracking. Um, but yeah, it is funny. It just seems like for some reason the talk around TNA a lot of the times is always from a lot of disingenuous camps. You know what I mean? I think they're more into the negative than the positive. So
exactly.
whatever, that's how they make their money apparently. So, but whatever, we're gonna keep on rolling. We're the
Yeah,
ones watching it. So okay,
exactly.
let's get into tonight's show. And I think this was one hell of a go home show. It might have been light on matches, but I really do think it really drove home that they're the show tomorrow. And I don't care what people say. You can call them TNA's B shows. I would say certainly their B shows will outdraw anything not named Evolution and a few others in WWE. So in terms of pay-per-views like the last year. But I'm looking forward to this show tomorrow night. But we're gonna open up with a Moose promo, and I think this was just very, very. I'm not timely is not the right word. It makes sense. He's gonna address the system. They kicked him out. It seems like we're going face for him. I like this. Not so much really the Moose part, but I was really, really into, and I think one of the themes tonight is Daria Ray is perfect in her role, the former Sonya Deville. I
Yeah,
think, and what's funny is they let her be an on-screen GM in WWE, and I don't remember her showing this much fire when she was there. They're really, and again, we should expect this. People, the creative in TNA is a lot more free, but she is. This was really good. Her kind of coming out and just running point and telling her this match is going to be the main event, not happening right now. But I like this whole segment.
yeah. What I like they're doing is that they're letting her have the spotlight to herself. Like like you mentioned, yeah, like she wasn't like this on Raw or SmackDown because yeah, she doesn't have any other authority figure by her. No Adam Pierce's, no Nick Aldis, no Santino. You know, trying to. I mean, of course, Santino's still there, but he's not really getting much screen time as normal, which I think is watching is meant for a reason. So they're doing a good job. I always know like Daria, formerly Sonya Deville, she was always a good heel. Like something like when you look at her, you just she just she just looks like someone you just can't stand, and then like she's kind of like showing that. But yeah, she was kind of like the party pooper, so to speak. When Moose and Santana, they were kicking off the show, both guys want to get their hands on the system and stuff. And yeah, Daria saying like that's not gonna happen until later tonight and stuff. But at least yeah, what I like about her, she commands attention. And
Mm-hmm.
the catchphrase "Shut up, I'm talking," the suits and whatnot. I think that's pretty clever. Will she change her logo? But that's for another combo. But yeah, the point is, yeah, she presents herself very well. Don't you agree?
I do. And again, I think that just it's a lot more of a case. It's a big part a big reason why this is working, I think, is the environment. I think Tina is really letting her run with this character that maybe she wanted to show this in WWE, but again, they're not going to let her go full bore with it. But yeah, I really like this. Again, I'm glad this was the main event because we're going to get into a second. I love the opening match. It was probably my favorite match of the night. But we're going to get into that in a second. Next, we're just going to have a couple quick backstage segments. One was just kind of Ryan Nemeth kind of talking about Mara. Again, I'm with you guys, and you point out this feud needs to end. But I think that with what they've done so far, they're doing their best to make it something. He said he was tired of being super kicked. And then we go into what I thought was a really good segment. It was just kind of Alicia Edwards sitting down with Moose. She's kind of talking about if she doesn't know if she wants to be there right now. Her mental health is taking a hit. She's beat down. Moose said that he gets that. He knows he needs to put herself first, but I really liked him saying that she was the brains behind the system. I really think she put him. Really think he put her over, and I really appreciated that.
Yeah, yeah, that was really good. At least it shows that Moose is not the only one who feels like was backstabbed, by Eddie and Myers. Like Alicia's still on the fence, and I like how she keeps bringing up that her contract's coming up, so we'll kind of see where that leads to or so.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. I would think the obvious thing would be, and we'll talk about it a little bit more, would be her turning on Moose. But I honestly
It's
don't
hard. Yeah,
think
it's
that.
hard to read on her.
Yeah,
I
I
was gonna say
honestly
it's
don't
hard to
think.
read on her. Like, you continue, my bad. Continue.
No. I was just going to say it's hard to, and I agree with you. It's hard to get a read on this. Again, I could see with going with the obvious with a turn, but I don't think they should go that route. We're going to talk about it more later. But yeah, no, I agree with you. It's very hard to tell. Okay. Next, we're going to go into our opening match. And holy shit, this was a banger. Again, one of the big, and I don't know if you want to call him a breakout player or comeback player, because I think that's disrespectful. But I think Rich Swann is going to play, and I hope he sticks around. I haven't heard anything contract wise about him, but I hope this man is in TNA for the long haul because this is the best he's ever looked. I don't really care that he didn't get the win tonight. I thought this match was all Rich Swann. I think the finish has kind of played into the way Nick has been kind of being the veteran in these matches and just knowing when to strike for that, that move that will count. Again, he hit the danger zone off the basically Swan going for he hit the ropes going for that like cutter, I believe. But yeah, this was such a good match, man. Swan is just killing it. And let's get this man back into the main event scene, which it seems like that's what they're doing. I'm a big fan
Yeah,
of Rich Swann.
yeah. It seems like he's really Swan's really getting back to that mojo of his, especially like 2019 S where he was really killing it on Impact Weekly TV and stuff. But yeah, he had a good show with a former world champion too, and Nemeth. Both guys have. You could say both guys had a lot to prove. Like Nemeth, he's been off of TV for some time. Now just coming back into the picture, especially the world title picture, and Rich Swann, just finished wrapping off with the AJ Francis feud. You know, see where what goes next for him and stuff. But yeah, like you said, this was a very good competitive match. Like all over the crowd. Also, shout out to the Albuquerque crowd. Like, I know, like I was on the fence about them coming up here because not really wrestling shows come to Albuquerque, but for the most part, these guys, the crowd, they really they showed out. They didn't get tired, and they were enjoying this match too, particularly. So yeah, that too. But yeah, I enjoyed the match.
I'm so glad that you brought that up because one thing I noticed, and I'm not a big guy who paid attention to the crowd, and I think this has to be counted as a good thing because it means that you're getting different fans. I don't think I remember seeing this many women in the front row at a TNA event, and I'm like, well, that's good. They're cast, and they seem to be into this match. They were, and I don't know if it was something with the Nemesis, but these two women up front kept heckling Ryan and Nick all night. I don't know. It was very funny to me. I was like, okay, they did very well in Albuquerque. This is a good market.
I gotta check that out.
Yeah, it was very funny. Like they were talking so much shit to Ryan later in the match. Like I was dying. But yeah, man, let's get Swann back to, because I always thought that he should have been the one to take the title back from Omega if they would have really told a proper storyline, which a lot of us wanted. But again, I'm not going to complain about it. This match was fucking phenomenal. I would encourage everyone to go out. That Swann's on a heater right now. The match against AJ, which he did win this match. I think that they're poised in this guy. This guy's poised for a big year. But yeah, I love this match. Okay. Next, we're going to go into what I thought. I love when TNA kind of course corrects. And I think that they almost are following the blueprint from a couple years ago. This was Zaya and Indy, and it looks like they're going to be getting a Knockouts tag team title match tomorrow. And goddamn, this is what they should have done from the start. Similar to how they overpushed Ash too quickly. They put her with the Elegance brand. She ended up getting the title after a much better story. Ash was firing all cylinders there then, just like she is now. But putting Indy with a seasoned worker like Zaya, who Indy's going to be forced to get better. They're going to be able to have her pick her spots. I'm not saying I want them to win, but me personally, I'm fine with them rolling with Indy, Zaya, and Lay for right now. You keep Lay as a singles person, and you have Indy and Zaya as the tag team champs of the group. I'll rock with that because, again, I think Indy needs to be in a tag team.
Yeah. Yeah, this is something that helps both women. Because I kind of seen this coming, and Indy's been kind of butting heads with the Elegance brand for some time for a bit. So it only made sense she was gonna find a tag partner and kind of go after the tag titles. And Zaya Brookside, I know Ling Lee's the champion, but also we can not like have nothing for Brookside too. So at least kind of solves both cases for both women for now. And yeah, the Elegance brand, they're on a roll. Like last week they had a great week, with NXT Shine, and then having the main event match last week or so. So momentum, and of course Ash being back. So yeah, momentum's going well for the brand. So I'm glad they're on the card. I think we know the results to this, which we're going to get into later. But yeah, it's always nice when they find a solution to get people on the card.
Yeah, no, I think this is because again, I did not see them having Lei be a double champion. I didn't see them having Zai and Lei go out there and have a lot of tag matches with Lei being the world champion. So I completely agree with you, Io. This is a great way to get Zai out there more, and same with Indy. You know what I mean? Because I
Yeah,
think they were kind of going away from her as going after the Knockouts title for right now. So this is
yeah,
great. I'm loving this. This was good shit.
yeah,
Then we just move into just a quick Righteous promo, and again, you want to talk about hard to read. Like, I'm not buying this whole thing of them wanting to team with the Hardys, and I don't think anyone should. I don't know if we're going to have them turn on them in the match, but just because I think that would be dumb to waste a match. But it's definitely going to be interesting watching the Hardys and the Righteous team up just so shortly after them having a pretty intense match. But this is whatever. This was fine.
yeah. I mean, nothing really much to it. It's gonna be interesting how this this pair kind of works out, with the Righteous and the Hardys. But at least they got someone to take care of Special Agent Zero, that being the big man Dutch. So I like to see those two kind of butt heads. So,
I said
but
that
yeah,
earlier tonight. You right there. That's going to be, that's a meat match. So
yeah,
I'm ready for that one. That's going to be good. And I don't know if we passed it, but there's a segment later in the show where like there's almost the order four is like having a prayer circle, and it was just funny to see. I think Agent Zero was holding hands as well. I forget. I don't know whose hands he was holding, but it's the big man's just so he hasn't said much yet. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So they're doing a really good job keeping the mystique of this man. You know what I mean?
yeah.
He's a killer. You know what I mean? He doesn't say much. He doesn't have to. But yeah, this was good. Okay, next we're going to move on to I think I believe he used to go. One of his nicknames is the World Class Maniac. This is Eric Young
Mm.
living up to his name. It was Eric Young in a BD segment in the ring, and part of me was like, man, I kind of want BD to join Eric Young just because I think it's always good when you throw young talent, similar to the way you see New Japan and do it, other promotions do it. You throw these younger talents in a faction. I think it's a good way to get their bearings under them. He didn't. BD again. BD's promos are really good. We talk about he just needs to get a little size on him, and I think he will. But the height's there. Obviously, he was town over Young. His promo skills are good. He connects with the audience. He's got charisma. I like how Eric Young was pointing out, he wants him in the group, for his reach. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
Eric said, he doesn't understand it, but he recognizes it, which I thought was very good for him to point out. But then we get, he refuses. Eric Young clocks him. And then Eric Young proceeds to not only pile drive BDE, shove down one of the female refs, but he also pile drive two security guards and looked like he was going to fight some of the fans. And finally, Eric Young's doing something. Like there was some heat for that. The crowd reacted perfectly to this.
yeah. I'm actually glad that there's actually a good I know like they have a match tomorrow. At least we have like some build towards it. And yeah, you pointed out EY. The reason EY is trying to potential recruit BD, because of his reach. Meaning, yeah, his reach and the things he's doing with his content and stuff. So at least that's a reason there. And BD at least has to know that Eric Young's the type of guy who doesn't really take no well, if you know what I mean. And he
Mhm.
and yeah, he found that out. So yeah, EY, EY is a madman. I mean, you never know what this guy like. Yeah, it's just yeah. This is just normal EY. Going pile driving people and then going insane. What's interesting is that yeah, he pile drive not only BD but also some two security man. So I'll expect a fine or suspension coming his way or so.
I'm glad you said that because let's go right into it. we get a backstage segment with Eric Young basically getting escorted to the back by the security guards we just saw. Here comes Santino. He lets Eric Young, he's out of control. He's suspended. Not so fast. Here comes Daria Ray. And this is where I think a lot of people I've seen too kind of speculating that Eric Young, maybe Macklin could all be kind of involved in something that Daria Ray's cooking that has to do with her trying to get rid of Santino. She tells Eric Young, we'll talk later, go to the back. Daria tells Santino that from up above, way above his pay grade, that they want Eric Young scheduled for no surrender. Again, we continue to go with Daria kind of not talking down, but just trying to basically, tell Santino what to do. He said something under his breath, which was very funny. But this was good. She's very good in this role.
Yeah, I like this. She's kind of overruling. I wouldn't say overruling, but I mean okay, so we don't know exactly what her title position is right now. I don't think they really explained that, but what it shows is she's capable of going above Santino's head, aka probably talking to like the anthem board is the ones who hired her, you know what I mean? So they're playing onto that well. So like whenever Daria appears after Santino makes a decision, like you just know, I think they're never. Let's be honest, they're never going to be on the same page. I'm just telling you guys right. Yeah, Santino does one thing, Daria does the other. Yeah, that's how it's going to be. And yeah, she is still trying to kind of basically get Santino fired or replace or whatever. But yeah, I like how it's done. EY unsuspended. But instead, he's going to be facing BD tomorrow, so it should be good and stuff. So, yeah.
They're doing a really good job with the people that they're picking as BD's opponents. They're giving him really seasoned veterans, guys who have worked tons of TV matches, know how to work a match, guys who've been in this business a long time, and it's only going to make BD better being in the ring with guys like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Next, we're going to go into the Albuquerque street fight. And while I wasn't the biggest fan of this, to me, this is no different than what you would see in a typical Raw or SmackDown TV street fight on any given week. There was some corny prop spots, but overall, I thought, and when I would hope this would be the blow off, hope this would be the end of it. I thought for what this match was fine. There was some entertaining spots, whether it was the dum-dums on the outside, which obviously that works with Mara's character. I think the spot of her coming out the chair was pretty dope with that clothesline. I think Ryan plays his role perfectly. He's out there to be humiliated. He's the only person I know who can turn the word brother from a one-syllable word to a two-syllable word. He really stretches that thing out when he says it. But again, this was fine. I'm ready to move on. Mara deserves bigger and better things. Let's have Ryan go back to his comedy role. But for what it was, again, I'm not going to hate on it.
Yeah. I mean, for what it's worth, I would say I did enjoy this match. Ryan Emmett plays his role best. Being the whipping boy, being everybody's whipping boy, so to speak, or so. But at least they give him some good. They give him some good offense and stuff. This was Mara's this was Mara's hometown, so of course, she was gonna get a good shine, and out of this, I figure this was where they were gonna end the feud. One thing you always credit TNA, they always do well with intergender wrestling. Like they kind of present it well because they're also they're a company that also values the knockouts on the same tier as the men. So they're gonna what I like about this company, like they always see the knockouts as equal as the men, and that's kind of a proven example. Like also
Mm-hmm.
like Tessa and Sam Callahan for example there, but yeah, like yeah, everyone's equal. X division equal, knockouts, tag team, and the world division on equal lane field, which I really like. So yeah, I'm glad they kind of made this and entertain. You don't, I mean, again, you don't intergender wrestling if it's not your thing or whatever. It's fine, but like at least they pulled some styles, make it an entertaining match. So
Mm-hmm.
at least if the crowd was happy, yeah, that's what matters.
Yeah, I'm a fan of intergender wrestling. Something I don't mind. I don't hate on it. I do like it. I thought this match was good. I thought the spots they picked in it were fine. I was fine in this match. I'm just more concerned. I hope we move on because I think Mara is big time, and I really think that they're going to have big things for her this year. I hope they will.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
I
next
wouldn't
we're
be
just going to
surprised.
get a
I'm sorry, I wouldn't be surprised if she wins the battle royal if she's in it
yeah.
tomorrow.
That'd be a good call. That'd be a very good call. Okay. Next, we're just going to move into again. It was just a quick Mance Warner and SDL segment. This is a perfect couple. Well, they're the perfect couple for each other. You know what I mean? Like they have very good. Their chemistry is very wacky. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? They play off of each other perfectly. But I hope we get more Mance on TV. It seemed like he's been gone for a minute, but yeah, this was okay. Again, I didn't hate it. This was fine. And then we just move on to a quick Elijah and Mustafa Ali segment, and this is what confused me because I remember seeing it was going to be a casket match, but then Elijah said a guitar case casket match, which he said it's a normal casket, but then he almost made it seem like to win you have to like play a note on the guitar. Like I was a little confused about this, but that should still be a very good match.
Yeah. So yeah, this is gonna be happening on the Impact taping. Um. So yeah, I never heard of a guitar casket. That's a guitar casket match. That's what they said.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, but this should be their way of kind of like yeah wrapping up the Elijah food I mentioned before. Like um, it won't probably end until at least Ali gets his turn on getting hit with the guitar because for the most part it's been advantage Mustafa at all turns from guitar shots the match even last week yeah he his team got the win and stuff so but for the most part I've been enjoying this feud but yeah I think this casket match should be a good way to wrap up um
Yeah, and
I won't say who I think should win but I'll just say it'll be a good way to wrap it up.
yeah, we'll get into that, a little bit when because I don't think that match is for no surrender, right?
No,
Okay, yeah,
I'll
we'll get more. Yeah, we'll get more into that when we know that match is going to happen. I don't know if they announced it for next week, but we'll talk about that when we get there. I would say this is the most important of the backstage segments. This next one, we just get really Ariana thanking her dad for this title match, which again even Tom said this is a questionable one. But Ariana stealing the Cobra from Santino's pocket was very interesting. Obviously, I
yeah
think that's going to come into play in the match. We'll talk about our predictions later, but that was very funny. Obviously, Ariana is still a heel. We kind of were speculating, is she really face again? But no, she's obviously a heel still. So that was
yeah
interesting.
yeah that wasn't uh no surprise there. I was kind of waiting to see like when Santino's gonna like maybe he is on it. Who knows? Like what's sorry what's Ariana's real game here, so to speak. So I mean, cause I mean it doesn't take it doesn't take a no brainer. Like she wants to hold gold the same way as a stack. So like they both lose no surrender with both belts, and then Santino with a bigger slap on his face. So hopefully for our sake that doesn't come true. But yeah, she did. She apparently stole his Cobra, right? That's what it's on.
Yeah, obviously that's what Santino's part of his finisher. Yeah, he did. They did take it. which I'm interested to see where that goes.
Maybe she plans
Obviously I
on
was
using it.
in the
Maybe she
match.
plans on using it, which would be rubbish in itself. But I don't know.
Yeah.
She's gonna cheat. Like she's gonna cheat,
Yeah.
folks. Yeah.
And again, we're gonna get to that match here very slowly. We just have one more match to talk about. We're gonna get into that. We're moving on right now to the main event. It was gotta love all-star tag matches. It was the Hardys with Mike Santana and Moose taking on the System 2.0, the upgraded system. And let me just say, man, the presentation of this group, the new song, them coming out all in blue, man, Bear Bronson
Yeah.
just absolute beast. Oh, the new look for Eddie, the shaved head. Man, this was a great match. I will start with you. I want to start with you. What'd you think about this, man? Because I love this 8-man tag.
Yeah, this was I recommend I recommend everyone to kind of take a look at this because yeah, you always said this before and it still counts to any system multi-person match is one to look because everyone's getting their shine in. Everyone's getting to shine in. No one's getting left out. You're really getting to see how good and talented these wrestlers are and stuff. And yeah, it was really good. It was really good. I'm glad Bear Bronson got the big shine. Yeah, he got the pin here too. Um, but also yeah, kind of like you also see a lot of a lot of sequences. A lot of sequences. Everybody getting to shine in. Um, Eddie being the technician, Brian Myers another technician, Cedric being the more agile one of them, of course Bear being the big man. So I mentioned like they all have something. They bring something to the table. Of course, you got the world champion Santana leading the fray. Moose, another big man to handle with Bear. Um, Still got unfinished business with Cedric, and then of course you got the legends, the rock stars, the Hardys. You know, getting their shine into. But yeah, this was good. The system obviously needed this win to kind of like show how much of a threat they are to not only TNA but also the champions, Santana and the Hardys, as they mentioned that they're gunning for them. But yeah, I recommend this is a good match for everyone to take a look at because I'll tell you, there's any system to multi-person match like. It's always good. Like I enjoyed the old system match when they had against the Rascals. That was good too, and this one was no different.
And the first thing I
And like,
thought
sorry,
of.
and like you said, yeah, I agree. Like the presentation, I did love the new logo, uh, the new logo, the new presence. The band. I'm sure you're familiar with the band Down Straight.
Mhm.
Yeah, they did their music too.
They do Cody's theme too, right?
That's right. Cody's,
Okay, yeah,
Indies, Cardona's before he went to WWE. Yeah. Oh
that's
yeah,
really
no,
cool.
it's Nick. Yeah.
Okay. Let me just say, my immediate thought when I saw this finish was, okay, we're going with what I was saying a couple weeks ago. I think if this don't lead to a tag team title shot in the future for Bear and Myers, and let me just say, again, I'm rocking with that too because while Myers doesn't need it, Bear Bronson being able to win the tag team titles off the Hardys would be a very big notch in his resume. So if that's where we're going, I'm fine with it. I think that's actually what they should do.
Hmm. Yeah, this
Okay.
definitely when you
Before
think of it too. Oh, sorry.
sorry.
When you think of it too, yeah, this definitely does make a case for the system. Yeah. When you also think of tomorrow, the Hardys, they're going up against Order 4. If Order 4 could get the win, they might make a case too for tag title shots. So it seems like the tag division's slowly starting to pick back up. So
Love it. and I can't wait. And we're actually going to get into it here in a second. But before we move on to our predictions, anything final thoughts on this show? I'm going to give this again. I thought this was another like 8.5, 9 out of 10 for me.
Another solid episode. It just goes to
Mhm.
show that and it's funny, it's like this is apparently this is like the go home show to No Surrender. And like they did a good job making it also like an enjoyable show, and also getting ready for tomorrow. I think that's kind of been one complaint from TNA fans, like they don't make go home shows like very entertaining, or very least give folks a reason to kind of tune in for the plus special. I think they did just that, like especially with this banger and main event.
Yeah, I thought this was a great way to end the show. I did think of course, they sent the fans home happy. Again, this is 4 straight shows since the debut. Yeah, they're really firing all cylinders. Okay, before we move on to tonight's No Surrender predictions, and we have the matches here for you second, I just want to remind everyone that this week's podcast is sponsored by Shroom Bar, the protein mushroom bar. It's made up of not psychedelics but 4 powerful mushroom adaptogens. It has lion's mane, which increases focus, memory, and neuroplasticity, making it easier to form new patterns and learn new things. Next time you're trying to learn that new move, it will actually stick in your head rather than forgetting immediately. It has cordyceps, which increases VO2 max, blood flow, and overall endurance. It has reishi, which decreases stress. It has turkey tail, which boosts your immune system, we all know that you're going to need that when you're on those nasty ass gym mats. On top of all that, it's 12 grams of protein. Go to eatshroombar.com and use Bodyslam at checkout for 25% off your first order. All right, let's get into Let's get into No Surrender. And while I did see that Ryan Nemeth and Sinner and Saint, who are returning, will be in action, I do not have those matches. If the matches for you, do you have those, or have they been not even being announced yet? Just kind of, we're told they're going to be in action.
Not announced. It's just that they're both going to be in action. Sinner and Saint and Ryan Nemeth. I would assume I wouldn't assume there'd be quick matches. Well, I mean, for Sinner and Saint, it'll probably be a competitive match, but I don't know about Ryan's one. But.
Yeah. Okay, well, we're going to go with the matches that we have. First off, we're going to go with the Knockouts Battle Royal. Winner gets a Knockouts world title shot in the future. To me, I have 2 thoughts on this one. One, I do think Mara is an option. But I also could see Tessa returning and Tessa winning. I believe Tessa beat Lei Ying Li in one of her first matches, correct?
Correct.
So I would kind of like to see Tessa versus Lei again, and to see Tessa to see Lei get her win back. I think that'd be a really good match. I think obviously we know it would be a really good match, but I'm going to go with Mara.
Yeah. I'll say, yeah, based on her momentum, I'll say Mara. I mean, I think it's about time she gets a title shot at some point. I will not. I'll say who I expect to be in the battle royal. I think that's Selena Black. You know, especially when she just especially when she just arrived. Yeah, I expect this to be a very stacked battle royal, with some notable names. Yeah, Danny Luna doesn't need to be in this. Like, I mean, if they if she's back in the state, that she doesn't need to be in this because she already has a title shot. I don't think Ash by Elegance is going to be in it because Lei Ying Li already kind of gave her a title shot, saying anytime, anywhere and stuff. So yeah, this is a nice way to kind of create a new contender. So like it kind of shows how, and I think this is what TNA needs to be doing more often, kind of build contenderships. Like it doesn't matter who's in line, who's already in line, about just create contenders. So at least we know who has a chance and who's up in the ranks. You know what I'm saying? So uh, for now, I'll say yeah, I think Mara deserves a shot because yeah, she's been having some momentum right now, and yeah, it'll be a good way to kind of like give her something new out of this Ryan Nemeth stuff.
In my head, I just talked myself out of, because I'm like, well, tomorrow is a live show. She did drop her name. Maybe Dakota's going to show up. But then I remember that TNA and the AEW is in Australia on Saturday, and I know Dakota's from Australia, so
New
that
Zealand.
I just kind of got. Oh, New Zealand. Okay, sorry. But I,
Doesn't mean she's there right
I'm still
right
gonna.
now. Yeah.
No, yeah, I'm still gonna hold my breath. You know what I mean? I would love to see her show up tomorrow night. I think that would be huge and would really get the internet talking. But yeah, I'm with
One
you.
person.
I'm gonna go with Mara.
One person. I know this is a long shot. Me saying there's one person that who hasn't been around since some time. But I think would be a nice way to reintroduce her is Kylan King. Um,
Yeah,
yeah. I know. Again, it's a long shot, but if she, let's say, if she was good to go, I think this would be a good time to bring her back. Yeah.
yeah, that would. I haven't heard anything in injury progress in a while. I know there were some setbacks, but that would be really, really fucking cool if Kylan King did come back.
Yeah.
Okay, next we're gonna move into Eric Young versus BD. I hope BD is cleared to compete.
That's right. Yeah.
I don't remember what the Flex report said, but yeah, I would love to see BD come out and wrestle this whole match in a neck brace and still get the win. I wonder if this is where finally we're going to get some sort of movement with this whole cleanse faction. I'm not sure, but I'm going to go with Eric Young in this one.
Yeah. Definitely. I'm gonna go with EY, but who knows? BD might pull up an upset win too. But I mean, yeah. I mean, of course, yeah. They're gonna have EY on the show anyway. It's in Nashville, and EY lives in Nashville, so it kind of makes sense there too. So I don't know where we're going with this cleanse stuff. To be honest with you, I would figure like it would kind of been answered at some point or so. You know what I mean? Or that's just or either way, just kind of like basically just rambling as usual. But for now, it could go either way. Uh, it could go either way. Maybe I'll say like a BD even when he might pull an upset there. We'll see.
Okay, next we're going to move into our TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Title Shot match. It's the Elegance brand and My Elegance and Heather taking out Indy Hartwell and Zaya Brookside. I don't have a name yet for them. I haven't come up with one. I could be lazy and just call them Heartside. Again, that's just the lazy route combining two names. What?
I said that could work.
I'm gonna go with the Elegance brand here just because I think we're going right back to them being a top group now that Ash is completely back. So I'm going with the Elegance brand here. It's too early for them to lose the titles. And I would save maybe dropping the titles to like a team like Indy and Zaya for one of the big four shows.
Yeah. They put the belts on they gave the belts back to Heather and them for a reason. Seems like they're gonna be holding the fort for that division. I'm really interested to see how this chemistry with Brookside and Hartwell go. Because yeah, both women have victories over the separate champions. So it'll be interesting to kind of see how this chemistry goes. Because obviously Lane Lee has her hands full with her own match later. So, but yeah, Elegance brand for the win, as Matthew said on the show.
Okay, next we're gonna move into what I'm dubbing one of our first two most important matches of the night. This is Lei Ying Lee taking on Ariana Grace for the Knockouts Championship. I'm going to let you go first, but all I just want to say is I really don't need to see TNA give the internet more fire. You know who I'll see. We know who needs to win here, but what do you?
If any chance Lee drops the title to Grace, I'm gonna be ranting. I'm gonna be ranting fully on this app, which I don't want to, but also proves how incompetent TNA's booking is. But I don't think we're gonna get that case because it would be a slap in the face of like Danny Luna's title shot, Ash's title shot, the potential stare down that Elena Black had with Laying Lee earlier. You know, you get what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
I think this is just a way to kind of wrap up the Santino, Ariana stack stuff because according to based on what we're seeing at NXT, it seems like they're going to be doing something. So so yeah, hopefully this kind of wrap things up. As good as the NXT relationship is, credit to. I think we need to kind of take a break. Like,
Mhm.
what I'm saying? Like they have their own thing. It's time for TNA to have their own thing. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, laying late for the win. This is a pointless match, but I expect if Danny Luna is back, I expect her to come probably attack Lee after this match.
Yeah. Let me just say this: if TNA is going to if TNA is going to say we're going to do something where we're going to have Lay drop the title to Ariana, because that will be like the way that they have gives Daria a case to get Santino fired. I don't think that they need to do all that to get to that point. You know what I mean? They continue to do what they're doing now with having Santino have little blips of things, but yeah, where Daria has enough cost to step in. But yeah, I do not think that the Knockouts title needs to come at expense of that. Lay should not lose. I'm going with Lay here. I'm hoping Lay wins. That's what should happen. But again, I've seen crazy shit happen, so I'm gonna be really nervous till this one's over.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Okay, hold on one second. Okay, next we have our 8-man tag, which is going to be the Hardys and the Righteous taking on Order 4. We'll start with you. Again, this one. I can't think right now. I don't know where I'm going with this one. But what are you thinking?
I think a lot of things could go down. Elijah being one of them. He could interfere in this. We could see some dissension or actually progress between the Hardys and the Righteous to see if this see whether or not the Righteous aren't full of shit. Are trying to
Mm-hmm.
proclaim they want to work with the Hardys and elevate them in their own words. So this is a big test. I can also see Order 4, getting more momentum, and which again I mentioned like leading the case for Order 4 to proclaim their shot at the tag titles. So a lot can go down. Based on momentum wise, I'm gonna go with Order 4.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards that because simply because I think that there's going to be a point where the Hardys and Righteous have a breakdown and something's going to happen. I see the Righteous turning on them at some point. Um, Maybe doing what they did where they carried Jeff or Matt away, so they leave one of them by themselves. But yeah, I'm going Order 4 here. That's the right call. Okay, next we're going to move into the second most important match of the night, and really it kind of has a little bit of correlation. This is a little bit of in common with the other first important one because it's Stacks taking on Trey Miguel for the international title. There's only one winner. Please, Trey, bring the belt home.
Yeah.
This is what we're rolling hard with Trey right here. This is a singles run that he was born to have. We're going with Trey. It has to be Trey. Please be Trey.
Yeah. It's amazing how this kind of just came out of nowhere. I'm talking about Trey coming back, because put it this way, let's say if Trey didn't come back, who knows how they handle this international title situation. They might probably have to even add in Santino's a factor. I know that's just my own thinking, but I don't think that's the case. Yeah, this is a way to for TNA to show that how grown Trey is. Already did the Rascal stuff. Was an exhibition champion. Now there's a new challenge. Being the international champion. Which that title still needs more establishment. So of course, we had the first champion, Steve Macklin. Kazarian had it. Now Stacks has it, so Trey having it will be a nice way to kind of like further help with Savage in that belt. So yeah, definitely him for the win and nothing else.
Yeah, again, Trey all the way here. It has to be Trey.
Yeah.
Okay, next we're going to move into our main event, which again I didn't expect to be the world championship, but I didn't expect this pairing either. It's Mike Santana and Leon Slater taking on the team of Nick Nemeth and Eddie Edwards. This is an interesting one because we have the Call Your Shot looming title shot that Nemeth still has that could play a factor in this match. Also, what really intrigues me is that Leon Slater has not been on TV in a minute. The last time I heard his name on TNA was when Daria just randomly dropped option C. It'd be really interesting if Leon, who's kind of been speculated that he is not long for TNA, if they go with that sooner than later, just kind of his final thing he does in TNA, it'd be really interesting if they have him exercise option C. I'm going to go with Santana and Leon winning. I do think that there will be a tease of Nemeth trying to call a shot, but we also know that Eddie has a world title shot as well. I don't know if he can use it at any time, but it's very interesting. Mike's taking on two people that want his title that both have opportunities guaranteed to them. But I'm going with Mike and Leon.
Yeah, Mike and Leon too. It was a good way to kind of bring Slater back into the fold. You mentioned, what makes this interesting? All three guys have a case to potentially challenge for the world title.
Mm-hmm.
Feast or fired, call your shot, and option. Feast or fire, call your shot, and option C. So I think I like that kind of put the little tease there. It'll be interesting to see what happens. One thing I will say, I think something's going to go down in this main event. I just can't really say it or really, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't really say it or put my finger to it, but it definitely expect a barn burner match for four great wrestlers. I will say, yeah, this is definitely a main event everyone needs to check out. Four great wrestlers. So I think something's going down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Something's going down. Yeah. So
I completely agree with you. Yeah, something big's they're gonna end the show with something big to really end the night on, leaving a statement. So yeah, Matt says Trey, or by the way, no, I'm going with Mike and Leon, and again, more so with what you're saying, we're gonna have something big happen. Okay. Well, that's gonna wrap us up, you guys. We have two matches that we really don't know the opponents, but we do know Sinner and Saint and Ryan Nemeth will be in action on the pre-show. We just don't know who. I'm with you. I expect the Sinner and Saint match to be a little bit more competitive. Ryan, I would hope that he would, go out there and lose like he should be. Nothing against him, but that's just the role he's in right now. But I want to thank everyone for joining us this week. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for sticking with us late. And I'm sorry about the little technical difficulties in the beginning of the show. Thank you guys for coming back. I want to thank you as always for joining me. He's here with me each and every week. With that being said, I want to thank you guys all. Thank you all you guys. Make sure to like and subscribe to when Bodyslam goes live. Anybody on Bodyslam goes live, or especially when we go live.
Enjoy no surrender. Yeah.
Exactly. Come on, let's get a big turnout for this show. You know what I mean? I want to hear the next argument that Meltzer can backtrack on when discussing the big number. You know what I mean? Like he'll probably be like, well, tickets are up, viewers are up, but the concessions are down. I don't know what it is. He'll probably.
I expect a good show that's going to carry over to next Thursday, and then once the result comes out, there won't be no excuse. Like it should be like TNA put on a good show, and then they took their audience with them, point blank.
Exactly. Well said, Isle. Well said. And make sure you guys watch tomorrow. It's going to be a fucking banger of a show tomorrow. But with that being said, thank you all for joining, and we'll see you next week. Have a good night, everyone. Watch No Surrender.